This is the Herucus Blomerus, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, L11 Flipper. And this is a South African maker who's been doing knives for quite a long time. I have here in my hand, off camera, the Blade Gallery printout. And let's see here. I'll do a quick just overview of it and might read some of the description that they have here as well. The cutting edge on this is 3.5 inches. The blade length is 3.8 inches. The total length is 8.75 inches. The blade height's 1.05 inches. Thickness 0.13. And the weight is 5.4 ounces. The steel is Bowler M390 with a hardness of 59 to 60 on the Rockwell scale. The bolsters are textured zirconium with differential finish, and the handle is marble carbon fiber. The locking style is a liner lock on the IKBS ceramic bearing pivot system. And then I'll go through the description here. Might not read all of it, but I'll start anyway. The folding knife was made by South African maker Herucus Blomerus, a resident of Pretoria. Herucus, pronounced Herucus, so there you go, Herucus, has been a proud member of the South African Knife Makers Guild since 2005. Herucus folders combine incredibly smooth action and high-level fit and finish. The drop point blade is M390 Super Steel, created by Bowler in Austria. Try to skip through some of the fat here. Yeah, there's more there, but to not bore you guys, I'll put this thing on screen at the end, this little printout, and then you guys can pause the camera and then check it out. Anyway, this is an amazing knife. If you guys aren't familiar with the Andre Thorburn, it's going to fall kind of into a similar realm, right? Just extremely high fit and finish. And then they represent, in my opinion, an excellent value. These retail or their table price is in or around $1,150. And, you know, they're handmade in South Africa. Whereas, you know, here in the United States these days, you're getting a lot of Max or machine assisted customs or more like low production knives in or around the $700 to $1,200 mark, right? You got your OZ Roosevelt, your SPK Lamia, HMC Transients. There's a lot more, you know, I won't say a lot more work, but I do believe that there is more work that probably goes into one of these just because of, you know, the bolsters being hand done. Everything's just more done, from what I understand, in an older traditional way. And, you know, you get a lot of value with that. And it's well known too in the knife world, right, that the South African makers are putting out excellent quality for the price. And it's also pretty well known, I think, that they represent an insane value on the secondary market. Oftentimes you can pick up a knife like this for 30% on the low end, but really, if you're a hawk and you're watching carefully, up to about 50% off for a like new knife. And at that price, it's a stupid deal. Like, you're now approaching, you know, say $600-700. You're approaching, you know, Hinder type stuff, Strider type knives, and you know, this is, in my opinion, far more special, and you know, something that I would appreciate more. I have everything mentioned there, and nothing can hold to something like this as far as fit and finish and just overall how cool it is. So with that said here, I'll pick it up and kind of give you guys a good look. The marbled carbon fiber is gorgeous. And then look at that bolster there. I mean, really cool. It's got this kind of hammered blue titanium pivot across The center there, it's jeweled. I don't know if I can pick it up on camera. I'll try. Not really. You can kind of see it on the edge there, but it's jeweled on the inside of the liners. And, you know, that's a nice touch. And then look at the back spacer here. It's got this blue ano, and it's got the, you know, details there. Turn it over. Simple yet effective pocket clip. And yeah, just overall, a beautiful knife. No lock stick or anything like that with these. I've never even had a South African knife do that. Action's excellent, makes a nice audible sound. Here, I'll put it up near the mic. I mean, just a gorgeous piece, right? You know, it's got that hand rubbed satin finish blade with a really cool drop point grind. Satin blade, polished flats. Gosh, gotta pay attention to the... Yeah, look at that. Perfectly centered. Here's kind of a profile of it in its closed position. Then for size comparison, here's a closed full-size Sebenza 21. Let's get these guys down a little bit. And here is a Strider PT. Pull them back up a little bit. There we go. Try to get them all in the frame, kind of, sort of. Anyway, you can see it's actually a pretty big knife. I'm going to zoom out. There, how about that? Much better. Pretty big knife. The grip's larger than a Sebenza 21, so that gives you a pretty good idea, right? I think everyone's probably held one of those. And the Strider PT, and then what I'll do here is open them up. Kind of tried to do butt to butt there as best as I could. Anyway, yeah, you can see it's a bigger knife. It's larger than the 21, and it's much larger than the Strider PT, of course. So it gives you an idea kind of what you're looking at there if you're to throw that thing in your pocket. I find the size to be okay. I'll go ahead and put these ones to the side and then try to do a zoom out just a smidge more. You know, I have medium-sized hands. When I open it up, I can get a full grip on it. Then there's some, you know, sticking out the back. The thumb's got a nice position on it. No jimping on the back, which I'd prefer some. You know, it'd be kind of cool if what he did in this case was to bring kind of like this, stop it here, and then just start it right back here. This last half inch, quarter inch, whatever this is, put those there, and then do a similar design just up to here. That'd look kind of neat and provide some thumb grip. You know, if you're sweaty at all, you're definitely going to slide forward. But it's not bad. You know, I'm just being picky to kind of give you guys an overview of, you know, exactly if I was to nitpick something, you know, that'd be it. Blade's obviously really sharp. You can just tell by, you can almost just tell by looking at it. Yeah, not sure what else to really say on it. I would go ahead and check out his work. If I were you at Blade Gallery, what I'll do here is take this away, or actually do this. Some of the way the lighting is might make it a little difficult to read some of this. I think it's going to be a bit reflective for you guys. Sorry. But you can pause the video and, you know, at least get some of this information, and I'll keep moving it around a little bit to get the reflection. There you go. Pause it a couple seconds ago to get the top part. You can pause it now to get the bottom part, and then there it is there. Anyways, yeah, cool knife. I definitely suggest checking out his work if you can. It comes up every now and then on the secondary. And then, of course, you got Andre Thorburn, Three-Leg Dog, which is Rand Manser. He's another great one, among others. If you're not familiar with bladegallery.com, they kind of specialize in, you know, South African makers, among other makers. They're located in the general Seattle area, but they got a ton of cool stuff. All right, thank you.